Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Indian Racing League. This is the Division 1, and this time around we are racing in the Zandvoort circuit in Netherlands. And joining me in the commentary box tonight is very special guest in Teves Cal. Teves, how are you doing, and are you
Uh,
excited for your first commentary ever with
I
this league?
I'm good, and if I'm honest, I'm nervous, but thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here, and I will try to be to provide some valuable information to everyone involved. But
Good to
welcome
have you
everyone.
here. Good to have you here, Teves, and I'm sure we'll have a lot of fun. You can see the drivers have already readied up. So while we wait for the qualifying, let me just quickly share the link of this video with people. But why am I not able to do that?
I'll do that for you if you want.
No, I just got it. No problem. I'll do
Uh,
it.
awesome.
So, Teves, how was your race yesterday? I saw your teammate crashed out, and you out qualified Jin as well. But how was?
I out qualified my teammate, and then he crashed. Then he crashed out on lap 6, bringing out the safety car. I chose not to pit and stick to my strategy because I was already on the mediums,
Mm-hmm.
and I had good. I was having good pace. I was keeping up with the drivers in front of me on the medium tires, and then when I pit, I came out. I was a little behind. I had a slow pit, but I still had the pace on the hards, and then I pushed. I got too greedy while catching one of the drivers in front of me on the throttle, and I spun, and I managed to keep it out of the wall, but Codemasters glitched me into the wall and broke my front wing and my right tire. So that was the end of my race.
That's unlucky. But how do you like this track in general? Do you enjoy it?
Honestly, I quite enjoy this track. I like this track. It is. I wouldn't say it's a straightforward track, but it's a track once you master, once you get your line right, once you get comfortable with it, it's a really fun, really fun track.
Yeah, it is a track which I think is quite non-stop because this like corner after corner, except for the main straight where you can probably breathe. Apart from that, almost the entire
On,
track
on
is.
Absolutely, and like for me also, with I race with wheel and pedal, and on all it almost feels like I like this track because of the changes. You're continuously having to modulate your throttle and stuff like that. You have like your leg at the end of a lap or two laps, your leg starts to hurt a bit, and you're like, oh god, I wish I could just lift off and just give my leg a break for a second. But it is a fun track. It is a fun track. Changes very fast. The changes are very fast, and I'm spectating Sonic Hawk, who just got past. Who was it? Who was that? Epic Brothers. But yeah, they're qualifying on the soft, so I'm guessing everyone's sticking to. A lot of the people are, from what I see, are sticking to the normal strategy, softs to hards.
Yeah, softs to hards should be the strategies. I see a driver. I think that was a Renault going very slow. I'm on board with Ashwin now, and let's see how this lap for him goes. One of the contenders for pole for sure. In the previous two races, he runs wide there at the exit of the final corner. I'm not sure if he will be able to keep this lap, or he'll be able to. So this quick killer almost stopping at the end of the first one. Manan has spun out. I think that was the same Renault which caused a yellow flag in the sector 3. But Ashwin is on his way, and let's see how the rest of the lap turns up for the Williams driver, who has had a unfortunate start to the season. The first couple of races he was not able to race, getting kicked out of sessions, having his usual bad luck. As we all know, Ashwin is one of the fastest drivers in the division, but not been able to show his true pace. But he did win a race in Belgium. Uh, got an overtake
But
done on the
but he's
last
still
lap.
but he's still sitting pretty well. Third place in the drivers championship, 16 points, 16 points ahead of the Racing Gupt in fourth. It's close, but that's pretty good considering the bad luck he's had with the
Yeah,
lobbies
considering
and
the
stuff
bad
like
luck,
that. So
it has been a really good season for him so far, and he's still in the hunt for Drivers' Championship. Theoretically, he can still win it, but he has to wish a lot of bad luck to his teammate as well as Vifix. He goes fastest with a 108 point something, and I think Vifix has just beaten that time to go faster by 1/1000th of a second. How close is that between the top two right now? It's just 1/1000th of a second. They are the only two people in the 108s right now, and Kanav has put in a good lap time as well in the Ferrari.
And we have Rohit coming
109.5.
to a standstill to let other cars by. He is literally at a standstill.
Right, I hope the game doesn't disqualify him for that as he's moving at a pace.
One of the AlphaTauris went into the brake boards.
Yeah, who was that? I'm trying to see.
It's not quick killer. It's not quick killer, so it.
Yeah, we'll probably never know right now, but
no, we probably never know. But yeah, we actually have one of the Red Bulls going, who's coming out on the mediums, or he has the medium. He's in the pits, but he's on the mediums, and the championship leader has just left the pit. He's just come out of the pit on the softs.
Typical Caesar going out a little late on his first run, and this being a short track, I think he can still manage 3 runs. We'll have to wait and watch. A surprise.
No, you could definitely manage quite a few runs, because yesterday I ended up like we had a wet qualifying, intermediate tire qualifying, and I managed to do 6. I did 7-8 laps qualifying with a break in between, so definitely possible. But I think his whole strategy of coming out later is to let people just get rubber in the track a bit, get that groove, so that he doesn't have to find his own line, right? He automatically gets like that grip on the racing line. Yeah,
getting advantage, taking advantage of the track evolution. Safdar, meanwhile, in the Alfa Romeo, I think this is his first time racing for the Indian Racing League, so that is definitely a debut for him, and has put his car in P3 right now. Very competitive time with a 109.0.
Very competitive and very close to Ashwin's lap time. That is.
Yeah, in fact, the top 4 are quite close to each other, within a 10th of each other. So it is
we need to look at the time difference between Vifix and Ashwin. Literally 0.001 seconds. That is insane.
Yeah, that is absolutely insane. And Caesar has gone just a little bit.
He made a mistake.
That's not something which very often. Ashwin, meanwhile, has now gone on pole. He's gone 3/10 faster.
Ooh.
And that's on tires which are 3 laps old. So he has gone for consecutive hot laps, and he would be hoping to go even faster than this in the next runs, because he has to start on these tires if it's a dry race.
Yeah, but honestly, I think there's he's gonna probably the more amount of laps he puts on these tires, he's going to have to pit that much sooner. But I think that puts him in an advantage, because he could undercut. Like, there is a chances of DRS trains being formed on this track, very close, because it is very few places, and one of the horses nearly turned into Caesar. But my point is, it's very easy for DRS trains to be formed on this track. So the undercut to get fresh air, clean track, could help Ashwin.
Yeah, it could, but Ashwin and undercut, that's some combination which hasn't. Utkarsh has retired. Where has that been? That's on the exit of the final corner, where Caesar is right now. No, it's probably Ashwin who's there. And let's see if Racing Gupta is reaching that. That's where he's going.
Yeah,
he's on the Utkarsh's car. Yeah, we can see that on the right. And while Utkarsh continues his form of retiring from the races, this time it's qualifying, thankfully, so he still has a race to go. But look forward to.
But he said he said a lap time. It's not the most competitive. It's definitely not competitive. But he set it 3 laps on the softs, and he gets free tire choice. He could go for one of the crazy strategies that worked for some of the drivers yesterday in Division 2.
Yeah, HEP in particular, what a race it was from him last night. And teams have been asked in the comments to just check with you if you liked the McLaren master plan yesterday.
Oh, the McLaren master plan was the McLaren master plan was a piece of beauty. Okay, and it's apparently continued today, even though they're not even racing today. But It worked, and I have the stream open. I'm seeing the comments, and I should have checked that. But yeah, the
Right. So
McLaren master plan.
something we
Yeah,
need to be probably thinking about. I see a lot of at least three and maybe more drivers, Rohit Goyal as well, putting Ishan now as well, putting lap times on old softs, and I'm beginning to wonder if there is rain in the race, especially at the start, because this is risky.
yeah. We do not. Unfortunately, we do not get to see. I don't think we get to see weather.
Yeah, we
So
don't. Yeah, we don't. But I think there's definitely
there
rain.
could.
I mean, I'm willing to bet on it because 4 laps on the same set of tires for
Because
Racing Gupta.
yeah, that, and it's not like it's only one person doing it. Caesar's done 2 laps. Caesar's okay. He had to back off of his first lap. He's done 2 laps on his tires. Racing Group's done 4. But Ashwin is in the pits, so I think it shows him as 0 laps
Yeah, I think
on
he
his
must have.
tires.
Yeah, he must have changed his tires later on. But what I'm trying to say,
Possibly.
yeah,
But he still did 4. Yeah, but he still did 4 laps on his tires. I think Vifix also did 2-3 laps. He's on an outlap on a fresh set.
yeah, he's
I
on an
am following
outlap
him.
current.
He's on his outlap. He is just coming in. He's just coming to the end of the lap to start his lap.
Right, so until then, let's follow Ishan now and let's take a look at this lap in its entirety and see how it goes for the Renault driver. He has moved from Division 2 to Division 1 upon very, very public demand that he has to be in Division. That's how fast he was, and that's how dominating he was.
Yes, yeah, we saw that. We saw that. I experienced it firsthand in Australia. It was yeah.
Yeah, Jin is saying in the comments
But
maybe it's to get some rhythm into the track. That's why they are doing consecutive laps. And this is again one of those tracks where the minimum fuel, even if you run, it's still more than what you need to do a qualifying lap. So
and
I
and
am
now
still
you can see Nishan taking exposing Jin's master plans.
right. But here we go. And Ishan has been a decent lap. I'm not sure if he's improving. There's a yellow
But
flag somewhere.
there's a yellow flag. There's a yellow flag. I think it's one of the Racing Points who's come to a standstill to let somebody. Yeah, I think it was Racing Group who stopped to let somebody. I think Vifix that was ahead of him to go by.
Who, by the way, is now into P4 and not where he needs to be. Talking about the Drivers' Championship teams, it could be
Yes.
sealed this weekend. Caesar is leading VFix by 23 points, and if he can
Yes.
outscore VFix by 4 points in this race, he will win the championship with 1 race to go. So this is going to be the added motivation for Caesar as well as VFix maybe to put in a good
Yeah.
performance this weekend, because VFix has to ensure he scores more points than the Williams driver to keep it until the next race. Meanwhile,
Exactly.
his teammate Kanav is trying to probably, yeah, that's where he has overtaken him now, and
He moved out of the way for.
for his teammate, yeah. Either ways,
But do you think Ashwin can jump Vifix in the drivers' standings? Because there's what a 40 point difference between the two.
no, it's a
And
17-point difference between the two. No, it's a 40-point difference. You're right. It is a 40 point.
It's a 40
Yeah.
point between Vifix and Ashwin.
Yeah, so it's a
So
lot of ground to cover in 2 races. You basically need to get 20 points
Two
over someone
wins,
else in a race,
essentially.
and yeah, that's almost 2 P2s with VFix
Yeah.
scoring no points. So that's probably a
With
little
Vifix
bit too
scoring
much
no
to
points.
ask for. Meanwhile, Caesar extending his gap at the top. Let's see if he's still going faster. He's definitely on an hot lap right now. Is down by around 300s in the first sector, but has fueled up for
Arjun, there's
quite-
logistical issues to sending Jin to D1. It is physically not possible to have Vifix and Jin in the same division, and that is
Yeah.
why Jin is with us in D2.
I'm sure Azun knows that. Arjun is Azun. I hope you know that. Caesar has
Yes.
gone fastest in sector 2 by half a tenth and is on course to beat his own pole time by, I'm not sure how much is he going into the pits. No, he's staying to the right of the pit wall, and he doesn't improve his time, but still stays in P1, very competitive lap time. Racing Gupt, meanwhile,
Well, Jin, you know who to contact now.
a lot of comments coming in. It's good to see people interacting in the comments while watching the race as well. Uh, what's Arjun Ravi doing meanwhile? He's in the pits. Vicky is not. Is Rohit going on a lap? I think he might have just started one. The
I think only Sonic, Manan, Rohit, Kanav, and Racing Gupta are out on the on track along with Caesar, and now Epic Brothers is on an outlap. So is Sonic.
Yeah, so
And
let's
now
follow
everyone is
Sonic
on
around because Sonic started strongly. I think this
Yeah,
season he was a full-time driver in the Alfa Romeo along with Arjun Ravi. Has since moved as a reserve and is racing tonight. So we have pretty much a full grid, 19 drivers here, and let's see how Sonic's lap goes.
Yeah, he set his first lap. I think he did a banker lap. He did a 111 with the mediums, and yeah, now he's out on the out on the softs.
He is indeed, and let's see what sector times he's doing as he will approach the split for sector 1, and he is up by 1.3, almost 1.4 seconds. So definitely those soft tires helping him out to get a good grip from this track. And let's see how the rest of the trap. He can probably go for a cool down lap and go for another one. That's something which he can do since he has the time to do it as he approaches that chicane and completely avoids the curb, which is one of the highest curbs I've seen on all calendar. That's pretty much a curve which I usually avoid, but I've seen drivers take that curb quite aggressively as Sonic is about to cross the line in his Red Bull out of ARS. He goes P11, so that is strategic pole position as we say, Teves, for
Yes,
Sonic,
it is.
and I
Yeah.
think he still probably has fuel and time for one more lap. Meanwhile,
I believe he does. He has about 53% ERS from my data, and yeah, he could if he backs off, does a slow lap, he could definitely get back a lot of that and be able to go for a super fast another lap because yeah, he has time. But speaking of curbs, I think honestly for me the most dangerous curb on this track is the inside of turn 1.
turn
That
one,
is
yeah.
the most dangerous curb.
I had a feeling
That is
you'd
the
say
most dangerous,
that.
especially when you're on medium traction or no traction control and you're on worn tires. That curb is deadly when you're on high wear tires.
I'm watching PSI
Almost this
right now,
the curb on
and
this, but so
yeah, go
sorry.
on, go on, go on,
PSI.
go on.
No, I was saying the inside curve of the chicane is one curve where there is like a line where you can actually cut it and it gains you enough time without you getting that penalty for track limits.
Yeah, it is possible. And watching PSI right now, I think this
But
is turning
Sonic-
out to be a really solid lap from the McLaren driver. Went fastest in
Yes,
sector 1, and that
he's
is
gone-
a
he's-
good
he's
lap
gone
time.
P2.
That is a really
And
good lap time.
Just
Yeah,
an
go on.
update, Sonic has gone into the pits.
Right, so that
He did not
his
go for a
qualifying
second lap.
done and dusted.
Is over.
Ashwin has
Yeah.
gone. Is he going on a lap still? It says no. I think this is his hot lap right now, and what a lap from PSI. He's just within a tenth of Caesar, and that says a lot
Exactly,
about the lap time. It's a
that
short track.
says a lot, and he's 2 tenths faster than Ashwin, and 3 tenths faster than Vifix. So yeah, that's definitely saying a lot. I think he's really he's put in his practice. He's put in his time this week.
Yeah,
I don't know.
definitely seems like
I
that.
haven't been able to catch the other things, so I don't know what his lap times on other tracks and his delta to these drivers on the other tracks were.
No, he's
but
been in and
from what I
around
can
that
see,
pace, but to out-qualify the likes of Ashwin and VFX and to be within a tenth of Caesar, that says a lot. Even though it's a short track,
Yeah.
so that's a mighty lap
Yeah.
from PSI, and let's hope he carries his form into the race. Racing Gupta, meanwhile, has started his lap, and speaking of Racing Gupta, another one of those drivers who, this season for sure, this is his first season in Indian Racing League with 3
Yes.
podiums.
Yeah.
He has given a lot of headache and a lot to think about for the drivers, which we just talked about, that's Caesar, Ashwin, and VFX, and he's
Yes,
quickly emerging as one of
definitely.
those drivers who can fight for podiums maybe even race wins as well. Let's see
He
how
he
he's.
he can, and something that works for him is that he has good knowledge about strategy, tires, where the entire basically the car, and he can come up with like he can adapt to a situation very fast, and that really works for him because he does help a lot of us with strategy for our races. So yeah, that's something I think that definitely helps him there.
Yeah, meanwhile, he is improving, not sure by how much, but has improved and he's up by a tenth on his own sector time. Is he going towards the line? He is, and he goes to
I
P3. Ashwin is going to
and
cross the
he's
line next, and Caesar goes even faster. Let's see what Ashwin does. He outqualifies VFix.
Ashwin and Vifix were just like throughout this qualifying, they've just been trading one lap for another lap, and it's just they haven't been able to catch PSI, but they are going to give each other a run for their money during this race for sure.
Absolutely, and while I've
But the advantage, as we already discussed, we don't know what the weather for the race is going to be like. But if there is a dry race, Vifix is going to have the advantage over Ashwin because Ashwin's done 2 laps on his tires, whereas Vifix has done only one.
Right, and well, I said that I'll be willing to bet that it's a wet race. I could be wrong now because the tires which these people are now on, especially except for Ashwin and Racing Gupta, all of them are on just 1 lap old tires. So Ashwin and a Ferrari, oh, that was Caesar and a Ferrari colliding. I hope that doesn't give him any penalties in terms of a grid drop, but that's the grid for us. Very close at the top between the top two. Caesar and
Yeah.
PSI on the front row. Ashwin Lakhwani and VFX on the second row. Safdar is on his RL debut. Very strong qualifying from him in P5. Racing Gupta in P6. P7 is Shadow Sword, who commentated last night in Division 2. P8 is Epic Brothers. Arjun Arun Shah in P9, who got the podium in the last IRL race in Zone Vote. Ishan in P10. People who will have tire choice: SFR Sonic Hawk in P11, Kanav in the other Ferrari P12, Arjun S. Ravi. That's a surprise qualifying from him down in P13. He would be hoping to make a position in the race. Rohit Goel, Vicky, Google Dougal, Quick Killer, Manan, and Utkarsh are the people who set their times in. Serial Killer joined at the end, or rather in the middle of the session, which is why he has not put in a lap time. But Serial Killer, the last time he started from the back of the grid was probably in Belgium, and he finished P2. So let's see how his race goes on. But I'm excited about this one, Teves. I know it's a track which is
Definitely
difficult
excited,
for
and also
overtaking.
it yes, it's not the best for overtaking, but you do get some good races. But the other thing is like yes, this is a shorter track, and that is why you see like between the delta between the fastest driver and the slowest driver. I'm not counting Utkarsh because he did crash and he did not see the whole qualifying through, so he cannot improve on his time. But the people who saw the entire qualifying through, the delta is what 2.6, 2.5 seconds, 2.6 seconds. So that like if everyone has the race pace, this is going to be an interesting race.
Yeah, top 10 within a second of each other. So that's always nice to see that the pack is bunched up. So we know that the
Exactly.
driver, in terms of their pace, is quite close, and that definitely promotes good racing as the drivers are now preparing for the formation lap and just dialing in their final strategies. And just in a moment or two, we should be able to see as I'm getting a shot of a hill. Why am I seeing that? I need to know. Okay,
I
that
I
was
am
really
seeing.
weird.
I
Either ways.
okay. I see them. They're out on they've started the formation lap has started, and now I need to put everything back. But yeah, this is good. This is going to be interesting because this is again one of those tracks where turn one, because of the way turn one is, it is a very dangerous. It is that very dangerous thing where you kind of need to be careful, but at the same time, it's one of those places where you can possibly gain some positions if you are careful and you get the opportunity as long as you're clean.
Yeah, well
We try
said.
to promote.
And I can
We,
see
we
that.
try to promote. We try to promote clean racing here.
Absolutely. I can see a mix of strategies in the bottom 10. Sonic Hawk on the mediums. Karnav, for once, has started on the softs. That's something which I rarely see
That
whenever he
is.
starts from outside the top 10. Rohit Goel, Vicky, and Utkarsh are the people who have started on the hard tires. Serial Killer as well, along with Quick Killer, are
No,
on
see,
those
serial
soft tires.
killers. Me, It shows me for me. It shows quick killer as softs and serial killer as mediums actually.
Serial killer is softs on my screen at least.
But a glitch. I know. I just see that Codemaster's glitching it out, but
yeah, let's ride on board with him and see what tires he's on. So it's a glitch for him because I think he might have lagged out from the session.
It shows him on mediums on mine.
Yeah, but I'm riding on board with him, and there's still.
It shows softs on yours.
Yeah, it does show softs for me. Predicted pit stop strategy on the screen. Softs to hards is the preferred strategy. Mediums to hards also work, and especially if there's an early safety car around lap 7, 8. Anytime after that, the drivers can do the entire race on hards. So let's see how that works out for our drivers tonight.
What did you expect from me, Suraj?
Well, Suraj was in the running for comms, but thankfully I asked you first and you said agreed. So I'm not stuck with Suraj in the comms box. But
after months and months of asking me, I couldn't keep saying no.
Right, and we are grateful for that. Here we go. The drivers have taken their places on the grid, and in just a moment, Codemasters having mercy, and we should see the lights coming on. Let's see. Come on, guys. Okay, I'm sure there is an issue. And TUs, and for the people who are watching, I'm telling you up front, this has happened before. If someone leaves the session right now, especially if someone is lagged out and they leave the session right now because people might ask them to, I might be kicked out of the session, and and my game might crash. So just FYI, if that happens,
we will restart. We will
have to restart
stream.
Yeah, we'll have to restart the stream.
We will be here, and no update on the race. Okay.
I'm seeing the Discord chat now. I know it's serial killer might be the problem.
I think serial killer. It's one of those issues because he's probably joined mid quali, and in fact towards the end of quali. So
yeah, that does happen.
Any update on the lobby bug?
Not yet.
Nishan's telling you to check Discord.
Yeah, I am checking Discord. I am on the Division 1 channel. So let's see. We'll have to just wait this one out.
Yes, we agree that Codemasters is the real problem, but I think a lot of this is people not being able to, I'm not gonna I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna try and keep up the niceness. Yes, serial killer is being asked to leave and rejoin the lobby. So hopefully that does fix the issue. But serial killer, it has updated on my screen that serial killer is on the soft tires now. So
I don't think it will matter anymore. I think a lobby restart is incoming. Let's see. Suraj is asking me to check WhatsApp. I don't think he has my WhatsApp number, so I don't know what he's on about.
This is that running joke. This is that running joke where you send a message on DM on Discord to check your WhatsApp, and on your WhatsApp you send a message to say check your DM on PlayStation. So
yeah, that has been one of the jokes. I think that was Russia when it was a very military-esque type of communication, not sending the message on one thing and basically just having me to chase different social media or apps to just look for a message.
Exactly, but Nishan does bring up a very interesting what's it called? Going to be a very interesting problem for the drivers. Cold tires. How is that going to affect? How do you think that's going to affect everyone's approach to turn 1 at least?
Well, I think they will be more cautious, and they have been here for more than a minute now. So
I think, I don't know. Honestly, at this point, it doesn't show me. I can't see. It doesn't show me cockpit view. It only shows me TV pod view. I can't see the tire temperature. So
Yeah, it won't show you tire temperatures maybe. But either ways,
because I drive cockpit view, so I'm used to seeing the tire pressures on the screen on the steering wheel. So it shows it there.
alright, okay. Meanwhile,
So
let me just quickly check what's happening in Portugal versus Germany. I heard Ronaldo scored, but
wait, Ronaldo scored.
I
That
mean,
is.
someone just sent me a C, so I'm assuming Ronaldo scored. He did, but
Ronaldo
Germany.
scored, but Germany is
Yeah,
up 2-1.
yeah, Germany is leading. Kai Havertz scored, and then Rafael Guerrero scored an own goal.
Or an own goal. He played his goal. His first goal in the last match was so good, but Portugal's Ronaldo is gonna bring it back. I have faith in Ronaldo. He does. He is now what, three goals short of equaling the all-time top international goals.
Yeah, something like that. He's pretty close. I don't know how close he actually is, but it is possible that this tournament he might actually
Yes.
get that. But
Yeah, it's 106. I don't know if this includes today's goal, but
so
no, he's 2 goals.
asking me to check WeChat. I didn't even know there's an app called WeChat, and everyone's asking me to check everything: LinkedIn, Twitter, Gmail, Instagram, Facebook, Yahoo Messenger. WeChat is something which I did not even know existed. And it's helping. It is helping because it's getting more attention. The whole stream, more
Malav, you might as well
more impressions.
Why?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh. Yeah, my game crashed as well. We have to restart the stream.